Socrates. So I was thinking about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. What a great movie. What a great movie. And I want to talk about Socrates, or as you may know him better, as Socrates. And I was thinking about how as soon as Bill and Ted get the time machine, the first person they go to see is Socrates, excuse me. And so Socrates is sitting there in his toga, all his friends in their togas and stuff like that, thinking deep thoughts or whatever those Greek guys did. And he's sitting there trying to explain to them the very concept of modern thought. You know, the only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. And Bill and Ted are like, of course, that's us, dude. But they're so dumb they kind of misunderstand. It's like, just because you know nothing doesn't make you wise. You know, so I think Bill and Ted misunderstood, but they wanted to learn from the father of modern thought, Socrates. I almost said Socrates again. They wanted to learn from Socrates again. And it's, learn it from the man himself. And so when they meet him, he's sitting there talking about, that. And so it's like, we got to quote him some lyrics. And what do they quote? They quote Kansas, dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind, dude, which is derived from Socratic method, Socratic thought. All we are is dust in the wind. Dust, wind, dude. And they got that message across. And what does Socrates say right after they get? He takes the sand and he lifts it up and he goes, yes, like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives, which is the intro to the soap opera, The Days of Our Lives, which is also derived on the Socratic modern thought. Brilliant part of the film. And you know what? Socrates, he finally makes this realization. He finally got his message to somebody else. And Bill and Ted are like, yeah, so he's like, screw it. I'm sitting around here and dressed like a kid in a diaper, overgrown kid with a bunch of gray hair old men talking about great things for what it's worth. Because it's all coming to an end, baby. And so Socrates, what does he do? He goes with these two strangely dressed men into their weird telephone booth-shaped spaceship, for all he knows, and travels through time with them. And then you think about the other characters they run across, like Billy the Kid joins because he wants any adventure he can find. Plus, he was about to get killed. Sigmund Freud. He probably came along because, hey, it's scientific curiosity. Joan of Arc, clearly a zealot. It's just like, oh, this is clearly an angel, and they're taking me to the Lord. So one could argue that they kidnapped Abraham Lincoln because Abraham Lincoln was the only one they actually physically grabbed. I think, even Genghis Khan, they baited with a Twinkie. Baiting is not the same as kidnapping. Okay, that's. But my point is that, the difference between Bill and Ted and Socrates is the idea is that Socrates is no matter how much you know, or even think you know, in the end, ultimately, it means nothing. And I think wisdom, true wisdom, is knowing what is taking the time to know what is worth knowing. That's why I call my news segment, The News Worth Knowing. Because there's tons of news out there that's not worth knowing. And to be honest, there's one or two news stories that aren't worth knowing. I just felt like talking about them because they're funny. Yeah. So Bill and Ted, Excellent Adventure, always a great, great time.